Hey guys, and here we are as promised with the Ugoos UT4 right over here that I did introduce on the AM1 video that we did about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'll try not to forget to post a link somewhere around here. Now, spoiler alerts for this particular video is that for those of you that were waiting for the UT4 review and are wondering what the differences are between the AM1 and the UT4, there is one major difference, which is the UT4 will not play 10-bit video, and that is it. The main difference is that one in terms of video playback, it will play everything, as we will see in just a few minutes, but 10-bit video will not, as the AM1, which is capable of playing 10-bit videos. So that is it. For those of you that are wondering which one to get, if you want 10-bit video playback, the AM1 is your choice. If not, then you can choose the UT4 or the AM1, the one that you prefer. Another interesting feature that I saw right over here is the fact that this is the first Android TV box that I'm testing that has a active fan. We have seen mini PCs with Windows with active fans, the BT7 for example, but in terms of Android TV boxes, this is the first one. Now, this can be a pro or can be a con, but it has an interesting feature about the fan that makes this a good choice. But more on that in just a few seconds. Guys, this is a long intro, so with no further ado, let's go straight for it. Hope that you enjoy it, and I'll see you in a few seconds. And we are back. So here we are with the Ugoos UT4 that features, as I said, the Rockchip 3368, which honestly it's not my favorite song, but nonetheless, let's move ahead. 2 GB of DDR3 Ram and 16 GB of flash storage with Android Lollipop 5.1. Now, moving along to the unboxing experience very quickly, as we do here on the channel. Once we open the package, we will find the UT4 on the top, a power adapter, infrared remote control, external antenna with an SMA connection, USB to USB cable, a flat and really nice HDMI cable, by the way, and some useless paperwork as always that we find on any box. Now, moving to the closer look of this machine, as we have seen on the AM1 in the past, this is, in terms of build quality, a really solid device. This is made of metal, and then it has this rubberized material all over the box that makes this a quality device in terms of build quality, as I was saying. So this one and the AM1, I see no differences in terms of the build quality, and I really enjoyed how it is made. Now, looking closer at the front, we only have a really dim blue light when the device is on, and interesting is that we can change the way that it shows with the Ugoos firmware. Now, on the right hand side, we have 2 USB 2.0 ports, a micro SD card slot, a reset switch, and AV out. On the left, a really nice power button. At the back, a power input jack, optical out, HDMI, another 2 USB 2.0 ports, and a gigabit Ethernet port. On the bottom, the cooling vents and 4 rubber feet, and then finally at the top, the Ugoos logo on this plastic part, which, as the AM1 also comes out. I did not take any footage of this, not interesting enough, but just so you know that we can remove this piece of plastic, which I wouldn't remove it. At least I didn't find any reason to to remove this piece, and I'm wasting time on this video. Okay guys, so moving along to the remote control, and being as honest as possible, I have given up on infrared remote controls because the story, it's always the same, and I'm tired of saying, hey, the remote controls works like this or works like that, and when you point it directly it works, and when you don't point it directly it doesn't work. So my answer, guys, is wireless remotes, and I'll try not to forget to post a link, as always, here on the video to show you my comparison in terms of wireless remote controls that will give the users a much better experience in terms of overall experience, because it's totally different using a wireless remote and a infrared remote control. Now, moving on to the launcher, I had some feedback about the launcher when I did release the AM1 review. Some people did like it, some people did not, which is normal, this is fine, but my opinion regarding launchers is that we can use any launcher that we want, so that is not an issue at all. Now, moving to the interesting point of the fan. As I said on the intro, this is the first machine that I review with a active fan, but which can be good and can be bad, depending on if you want a really active cooling solution for any device, or if you want totally dead silent. Because we know that with a fan there is no completely dead silent. There will be always a little bit of noise, which is not bad, but would not be the machine that I would advise for a bedroom, for example. Because at the middle of the night, if you have a sleep like me, which is very light, you will hear something at the corner of the room. So this would not be the choice if Ugoos did not implement a very interesting thing on their firmware, which is the ability to control the way that we use the fan. So this can be good or bad, as I said, but we can use it, and I'm sure that I'm showing something on screen. We can use it to turn on the fan or turn it off, leave it on auto, or even set a temperature to make the fan start. So if you want to say after 60 or 80 degrees you want to make it start, it will start the fan, and it's not very noisy, and believe me, it's not, but there is that background noise. But hey, once again, for those of you that want a dead silent, just turn off the fan and you will have that experience. For those of you that are concerned about the temperatures and so on and so forth, then you will have the fan there. Now, moving along to the online updates, this machine has online updates, as we've seen on the AM1 as well, which is great, so that we can have our box updated and fixed with the latest issues that users are reporting to the support of this, in this particular case, Ugoos. But I believe that online updates are very important in any brand that is out there. Now, moving along to the benchmarks, I will not read all the benchmarks, but I will post on screen so that you guys can compare with other machines. And honestly, the results were quite nice, as you can see, and you can pause if you need some more time to it. Now, moving to the gaming, after I had all these tests made, I was not expecting any bad results here. I saw that the firmware was well implemented, everything was tight and nice, so I thought, okay, so we are going to get a good experience, and that was the result. I did play my two favorite games, Asphalt 8 Airborn and Respawnables, and the machine behaved really well. No issues, no lags, nothing, no problems at all. This was the first machine also in terms of gaming that I could play around with game stream. First machine with the Rockchip 3368. I've had the S905, the Z3735F, and so on and so forth, those CPUs, but the 3368 was the first machine that I could successfully test out and play around, as you can see on screen. Which I did play with Gas Guzzlers, a PC game being played here through GameStream. And those of you that don't know GameStream, just search the channel and I've got more info about that. But the results were great. We could play at 1080 with 60 frames per second with no issues at all. So all good over there, and I'm happy to say that it was the first machine with the Rockchip 3368 capable of that I tested out and capable of doing this. Now, moving to the video playback, as you can also see on screen, it comes with the YouTube mobile app, and we can play videos up to 1080. In terms of Netflix, the maximum resolution is SD or 480p. We cannot watch more than that, so it's not the ideal machine for Netflix, in my opinion. Regarding Kodi, I did test all the formats, or the usual formats that I do test on all my videos, and the only format that did not play, as expected, because it's a limitation on the hardware, was the 10-bit videos. The 8-bit videos up to 4K with H264 and H265 Codecs played just really smooth and had no problems streaming all that movies from my NAS across the network and streaming to the Ugoos UT4, and I'm sure that I'm showing something there on screen, especially Buch Buny, Tears of Steel and Sintel, as always. Now, the final test is the mirroring streaming of this device, or using my phone and our Mac to stream high bitrate files to the TV, and it worked perfectly as well. Actually, after testing the game stream, there was no surprise for me that it would be able to stream high bitrate files, especially from the Mac, which has our photo library, and we stream live slideshows especially to our living room TV when we have family here and there. So it passed the test and everything was fine, playing those really heavy slideshows. And that is it, guys. Let's go move on to the conclusion so that the video doesn't go too long. In terms of conclusion, starting with the things that I did like the most, and the first one is the build quality. This is a really solid device, and I really like the build quality of this. Then the online updates, easy option to root the device. This has happened with the AM1 and also happened here with the UT4, and it's also capable of game streaming, sorry, at 1080 with 60 frames per second. Now, on the things that I did like the least, there were none. I could mention here the fan, if it was really loud, as I did on the past with other machines, but it's not. It's really quiet, and we have the option to completely shut down the fan. So that would be the only thing that I was a bit concerned. But after watching the firmware doing that thing, which is completely stopping the fan, everything was fine, and I was really happy with it. And that is it, guys. Hopefully this video will help you to decide if you want this machine or the AM1 or any other machine. If you found it useful, don't forget that usual thumbs up. My name is Roberto George, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.